Welcome back to my channel, guys. Now this video is about a general information for Canadians who wish to sponsor their spouse, common law or conjugal partner from South Africa. It's a very specific video for people from South Africa, so watch it until the end and see how can you sponsor your spouse from South Africa. This video is also for the Canadians in Canada, Canadians outside Canada, and permanent residents in Canada. Now, if you want to sponsor your South African partner for Canadian immigration, the first step is to make sure that you both are eligible. Now, here are some general eligibility requirements for both Canadian foreign partners from any country. Now, who can sponsor? Canadian citizens or permanent residents who are above 18 years of age are eligible to sponsor their spouses, common law partner, and conjugal partner. Canadian citizens can sponsor a spouse from outside Canada, whereas permanent residents must sponsor their spouse from inside Canada only, even if their partner is out of the country. So permanent residents have to be in the country in order to sponsor their partner. Also, you will have to prove to IRCC that you can financially support yourself, your family, including your partner, and any dependent children you have. Well, in most cases, there is no minimum income cutoff, which is really a good thing for sponsoring spouses, common law partner, and children. But there are very specific instances where you must meet a low income cutoff score, which are determined by government each year. Generally, it only applies if the partner you are sponsoring has a dependent child who also has a dependent child of their own. You may become ineligible to meet the income requirement if you are receiving social assistance for reasons other than disability. Other benefits such as employment insurance and federal training allowances are actually not eligible source of income. So they will not consider this as a source of income. However, if you are receiving a maternity benefit, parental or sickness benefit, you may still be eligible to sponsor your spouse. Now, there is an exception here. If you are living in Quebec, then you have to go through Quebec government website to see what are the guidelines. It's completely different guidelines for Quebec residents. But for now, we are talking about all the provinces in Canada except Quebec. Now, the second question here is, what can make me ineligible to sponsor my spouse? Now, certain circumstances could make you ineligible to sponsor. You could be ineligible to sponsor if you have committed a violent criminal offense, or even for non-criminal reasons like failing to pay immigration loan, going through bankruptcy and not being able to discharge, or if you are sponsored a previous spouse within 3 years of your application. These are just some of the factors that will make you ineligible and will affect your eligibility. Also, if you were a sponsored spouse now turned Canadian permanent resident, you cannot sponsor a new spouse within 5 years of your landing. So you might become eligible once your 5 years are finished, and then you can sponsor a spouse again. If none of these reasons apply to you and you check all the boxes of eligibility on your end, the next step is to see your partner is admissible. Now, who can be sponsored? Your partner must be at least 18 years of age and pass background security check as well as medical check. The Government of Canada department that process immigration applications will check that your partner is admissible by running a medical background check. People with criminal convictions are generally not allowed in Canada, but there may be options to overcome criminal inadmissibility. I will put the link here so you can go through and see what does that mean. And also, the immigration officer handling your file will also want to see that you and your partner are in a genuine relationship. They want to admit people who are coming to Canada for family reunification and not just for people landing here just for the sake of permanent residency in the country. Spouses also need to be married to their sponsor by in-person ceremony. The pandemic reminded us that virtual marriages are not recognized for the purpose of immigration. So you need to show some proof that you were married in person. Common law partners need to demonstrate that they have lived together for at least 12 months, and conjugal partners are living outside Canada have been in a relationship for at least 1 year. They need to demonstrate that they are legal or social barriers preventing them from getting married or living together. You cannot sponsor a conjugal partner who is living in Canada. Now, what is outland and inland sponsorship? If your partner is living abroad during the process, you will be considered as outland applicant. Although it is possible for Canadian citizens to live abroad during the process, but you would be expected to move together with your partner to Canada if your partner is approved for a permanent residency file. However, if you and your partner are living in Canada, you will likely to be considered as inland applicant. When applying from within Canada, your spouse may be eligible for open work permit as well, which means your spouse will be able to work full-time during your stay in Canada or during even when you get the permanent residency approved. Now, what documents do you need from South Africa? Immigration changes documents very regularly without even notifications. So the documents required for foreign national will depend on the residency status, will depend where you applying from. It will also depend on your travel history. Now, government provides an application guide, which I will put it on the description of this video, with more specific and up-to-date information. And they will also provide detailed information on how to fill those application forms. There's a complete guide on it, which I will also again put it on the description box so you guys can have a look on it. And in addition to the application guides, immigration offers a document checklist. You will find that also in the description box, which will show you the forms and the instructions you need for your application. The list also changes, so it is very important to go on the immigration website and see the most up-to-date information of the documents. Now, different countries will have different form requirements. As of time, this information is about the generic information on the document checklist and the forms, so you will at least get an idea like what documents are required. Now, what happens after you submit the application? The process begins once immigration receives your complete application. If the officer finds out that there's some document, some information is missing, then you might have to submit it again. Now, immigration typically takes 1 year, 12 months, which is a processing standard on spousal sponsorship, but it might take a little longer, keeping in mind the pandemic and what all is happening globally these days. Now, during the processing period, immigration asks for biometrics, for medical exam from the foreign spouse. You will have 1 month, 30 days to send them to IRCC, which is immigration. They might also ask for additional information, such as in-person interview, so which is not the requirement but depends from case to case. You can also track and update your application status online on the IRCC, which will make a decision on your file. And immigration will also send you instruction about the final stage, where your spouse or common law partner needs to become a permanent resident. Okay. After that, the last and most important part of the process is a landing process. What is landing process? I will put that in the description. You can see this is the last step once you get the permanent residency approved. After that, you have officially become a permanent resident of Canada, and the journey begins. Well, if you have anyone from South Africa coming in or any Canadian friend or family planning to sponsor a spouse from South Africa, please share and like this video and share this with your friends and family, whoever had got some information from this particular video. I will see you guys again in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Have a good one, guys.